All right, I'm going to show you guys how to build this wind car. A couple things to note. The colors might be completely different than what you have in front of you. So just do your best to make sure that you know which part is which, and don't just rely on what color you see in this instruction video. Another thing to note, your axle sizes. So in this, you're going to have one that's a length 6, length 10, and length 11. The way that you can tell is if you hold them up and you put it right on a circle, you can count the number of circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a length 10. And then you could just kind of hold this up with the other one and realize, okay, that's one more longer, so the yellow one is length 11. And again, you may have different colors than I do. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first step is to take one of these 1x15 Technic bricks with the holes in them. Next step is we're going to take 2 of our black Technic pins and another of our Technic brick, and we're going to go ahead and put the pins in the first 2 holes, and then we're going to attach that just like this. So that's what it looks like in your building instructions. Okay, we're going to do that same thing again, but on the other side. So we're going to take that Technic brick, we're going to take 2 black pins and our 1x6 Technic brick. We're going to go ahead and put those pins in, and then put this in, and there we go. It's symmetrical. All right, next step, we're going to take our 6x6 plates, and one plate is going to go at the end of our chassis, and one of them is going to go right on this end right here. So there we go. It's all nice and pushed together. It's pretty structurally sound. And now we can start adding the axles. So we're going to do the front axle first. So we're going to take our length 6 axle and we're going to put that right through the first hole that's right there. And now you may put on these the black rubber pieces that go over to create a wheel. In the building instructions, it doesn't show the black rubber piece, but if you want to add that, you can. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to slide these on, and we're going to make sure that when I spin them, that they spin. See how if I take my finger off, they keep spinning? So if it's too tight, if everything's pushed too tight together, there's too much friction, and you see how it's not spinning? So you want there to be a little bit of wiggle so that it spins. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to do the rear axle. And so what we're going to use is the longer of the two. So you want the longer one, and that's going to go in the last hole that's right here. I'm going to flip it over, even though in the building instructions it shows it looking this way, but I think it's a little bit easier to do it this way. And now what we're going to do is on each side we're going to add a full, what's called a bushing. That's going to go right there, and then one of the yellow 1/3, just like this. Now when you do the other side, again, you want to make sure that it's not too tight. So there should be a little bit of wiggle in there so that it can turn. And it's easier to adjust this now before you put the tires on. Okay, speaking about the tires, if they came apart like this, to seat that tire, it's just going to take a lot of sort of pinching and just to make sure that it's on all the way. All right, and then you'll notice that there's 2 sides to every tire. You have one that's a little bit deeper, more concave than the other. We're going to use this side just because there's not a lot of axle to work with. And we're just going to put on our tires. And then again, test them out. Spin the tires. They should spin for a while. And if they stop right away, make sure that you're fixing whatever friction goes in, because the less friction you have, the easier this is going to be. Okay? The last thing that we're going to make is our mast. So we're going to start with our 1x6, and we're going to add in these black friction pins. All right. Then we're going to take our elbow. These are called lift arms, these pieces, and we're going to take the one that has that 90-degree elbow, and we're going to put it on like that. Now, in the building instructions, it shows it already attached to this. I'm going to build it separately and then attach it at the end. It's just a little bit easier because then it's not moving around as I'm trying to build. Okay, then we're going to take 2 of these black pins so that they're hanging out of the elbow at the top. And then we're going to take our 1x7 lift arm and we're going to just put it in like this. And then we're just going to repeat that. We're going to copy that again where we put 2 black pins at the top and then attach that lift arm to it like this. Okay, the last step is we're going to sort of take what our piece of paper is going to hang from, and we're just going to put one of these bushings on either side just so that it's firmly in place. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to seat this down. And so it looks, let me hold up my camera. So there we go. Sweet, and test it out. Does it roll? You know, is there friction? If there's friction happening, then you want to go ahead and fix that before moving on to adding the sail, because any kind of friction is really going to make it difficult for wind to power the car, because wind does not have a lot of energy. So try to fix any issues that are going on before moving on to your testing. Make sure that your wheels are spinning and that it's a nice, secure, sturdy build.